Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Renuka and today we will talk about what fabric we should use for putting in the journal or the mixed media, as well as what kind of stitches we can use, okay, and what we can do more with the fabric. So let's start with the simple one first. So the simple ones are like you can go with this kind of cotton or muslin fabric. These are dyeable, so you can put your inks, markers, sprays on them, and you can just convert them in any multicolor shape like here I did. Although this is not the that is the burlap, but you can do this. Then another thing is, you want little bit fancier, you can go ahead with this tone on tone fabric. On this they have a kind of parsley print all around it. It's a pure white, but you can get it in different kind of materials also. So cotton fabrics are always good. You can choose the nice quilting fabrics like these ones. This is having the color, and this is such a nice quilting fabric, and you can use this also if your project requirement is that. And if you really don't want to do anything on the fabric, you just want the fabric should dance itself, so you can choose these kind of flowery or any print you like. Or you can go ahead with the batiks. That also looks very nice. Like here I use this batik fabric on it, and you can see. Now if you don't like all of this, or your project is not getting through or matching to this, then we can create our own fabric. So these are the fabric stamps I created the rubber stamps. You don't have to create them, you can have your own stamps and you can just do stamping on the fabric. Okay, before doing any of these kind of process, you must remember one thing, that you should iron your fabric, and you can put little bit starch on the back side if you want, so make it little bit stiffer. I use here the acrylic colors to stamp these. And this is also another stamp. Now this is that tone on tone fabric on which I stamped it. This is just a rough fabric. This is, I think, terracotta or something like that, but it still stamps so beautifully. You can see these fishes, and I just make row of fishes with these. So you can try different fabrics you can try on small, you don't have to buy the full fabric. Whatever you have at home, the old bed sheet or the pillow cover, you can try on them also. You can use these fabrics. I use the different stamp here with the different color. Okay, so this is the another one where I did the two-tone colors. So still, if you're not getting matching with your fabric colors, then what you can do, check the colors whatever you have in your project and put the colors on your fabric with directly paint. Like these are the acrylic paints, you can just put those and smash those. That will also do. If you really want to create much brighter projects like these ones where I create lots of stuff, and mostly I just use the distress sprays for that. Nothing fancy. I'm using distress oxide, distress inks. Remember, we are not putting them in the water, so all these sprays are water soluble. All these sprays are like, they need a water. So you can see we can just use them as it is. I'll just wipe out this extra so it will not dry, and my spray will work fine every time. And look, I got another folder where I can use for the fabric collage. Okay, so you can choose your colors. Like if I want the vibrant color, I can put these. Any of these colors will do. Just give it little bit time to dry, and they will dry nicely. Now you can see I have lots of the color. I'm gonna just wipe it just like that to clean the surface. Now if you want to see another things, like people do the dyeing also. So this fabric, particularly this fabric, if you see, it's avocado dye. You can do that also. And this is another quilting fabric, and we are just talking about the fabrics here. This is another avocado dyed fabric. So You can have those kind of stuff also. If you don't like much dyeing and things like that, you can do the stamping also. These are the wooden stamps. You can use any stamps. I just stamp them on the fabric and then I stitch on them. This is lazy daisy stitch and this one is chain stitch, only 2 stitch. And you can see everything else I put as it is white. This is one of my top or kurta, something like that, which I reuse. For this one I put the visible cause this is little bit thin. So what happened, the fabric is thin and sometimes it's a little bit hard to put. You can use your hoop while doing these kind of designs, or you can put the visible behind them. You have to just put them, press them, so it will become little bit thicker. I started before without fusible and you can see here, and then I started with fusible, so it's like fusible, so it's like now more sturdy and nice. So another way is you can just paint or stamp the stuff and then start your embroidery on it. So there are many ways you can do this. If you don't want to use exactly the fabric, you can use these kind of sheets. So these are the felt sheets, okay? And I like the neutral color palettes because I thought on neutral color every color look nice. So you can use those. You can have this sheet. These are very soft one, and look at it, this is so soft and nice sheets. And you can add them in your fabric cover journals. You can spritz it on it to add the mixing colors. You can sew on it with the machine, embroidery machine, or you can do hand embroidery on it, just like I did here. You can do hand embroidery on it. So these are the fabrics. Another fabric for these kind of stuff will look good is old jeans. Yes, the jeans fabric is kind of little bit stretchy in their own manner, but still the white embroidery looks very good on this, especially if you want to try the Japanese Cisco technique. That will like Japanese embroidery look very nice. But if you still don't do any Japanese embroidery, you have still like white border all around it, and you can put it stuff on it, it's gonna really pop. You can see it's really popping. Always this fabric gives more vibrancy, so you can use this fabric also, or you can just go ahead and use dyed fabric like these ones, and you can add more texture to them by adding, means on the printed fabric you add more sprays and more colors to make it your own. That also you can do. So all these are the fabric things. Now let's talk about the stitches. Okay, stitches are the pretty important part in this, cause when we are doing on the fabric can take all the stitches, but you are applying same thing, mixing matching with the paper also, then you have to think about that which stitch gonna good. There are few simple stitches like a running stitch which looks nice. Okay, then the blanket stitch. So this is the blanket stitch. I will show you where I use. So this is the blanket stitch. In one of the video I also showed you how to do the blanket stitch. Like here, this is the blanket stitch in a bigger format. This is in like smaller, tinier one. This is the running stitch, right? And then if you want to add two tone stitches like this, let's open this. If you want to add two stone stitch like this is called the running hem stitch. Okay, in there maybe we have here, let me see, where we can add two stitches together. Okay, and in the blanket stitch also, if you go double, you will get this kind of stuff, which is really nice. Or you can just do simple running stitch like this to create a small pendants, to create a small pins. You can hang some of the buttons to it, and it's come under the, I think, slow stitching. Nothing fancy, simple running stitch, and you will get a fabulous results with these. Okay, so I'm gonna put that here, and you can go with the variation with the same stitch. Like here I'm added in the ribbon. Here we stitch the ribbon with it with the running stitch. Here I just added as a fancy thing, and then I added on this side also. Okay, and some of these are machine stitching also. And then another one is this lazy daisy stitch, where we create a flower. Okay, you can do the cross hatching stitch. And the another stitch which I think will do on this blanket stitch, cross hatch running stitch, back running stitch, cross hem, and there is one more stitch we can do on the paper, as well as, look, there are so many fancy stitches. You can see here there are so many fancy stitches, but not all the stitches. Yeah, you can do this one, but not all the stitches you can do on your on your cloth. You can do it, but not on your uh, journal. You want a simple and easy stitches to go with, easy one. You're not doing the full-fledged embroidery. And while choosing the stitches, I always say, how much time you are spending on that project, is it worth it? Okay, so I love to do running stitch mostly, then blanket stitch, chain stitch, and some French knots, and I'm good to go. I don't want any more stitching in my things, because these are the simple ones, easy ones. You can get the variation with these, and you can get the desired results with it, and they are not much time consuming also. And one maybe you can add for the flower is lazy daisy stitch. So I already showed the running stitch, I already showed the chain stitch. I think I didn't show the lazy daisy stitch. Okay, so we can do lazy daisy stitch here. So this is my felt, and if I want to do lazy daisy, I'm just making the flower here with the pink pencil. So I'm just crossing the stuff, not much fancy thing. And let's choose the color for this. This one's a little bit lighter in shade, I think. Okay, yellow or pink. If I go with the pink, it's kind of match with this. Okay, so let's go with the pink. So this is the 6 strand thread. I mostly take not much, I just mostly took little bit more than my arm. I'm gonna put all this stuff aside. This is my threader, this is my needle. I will choose the bigger one, big eye one. Easiest way to thread it, just put the threader inside and then put the thread and then just pull it. We are done. I'll put it back. Now we'll start. I'm gonna make one knot and then I will start from the middle. Okay, so I'm putting my needle here. So I think we already covered all the stitches. I already showed you all the examples of what we did here. Now I think this one is the last stitch which I can show. So we will just come up. Now I'll go this like a chain stitch itself, but in a chain stitch what we do after this, after doing this, we do another chain stitch and starting from this. Rather than doing that, you should go back to make a flower petal. So it's quite similar to the chain stitch, nothing fancy. Again I'll show you. One goes here just like that, and we are creating a flower petals. You can go more fancy stitches if you want, but if it's a felt, it will hold. If it's not felt, it's paper. You have to think for that. And you know, for the paper I already make videos on how to stitch on the water journal paper, or how to create your water journal and how to stitch on that. So you'll get all the details on that thing, and you can follow the same to add the journaling pages in your mixed media. I'm just going back and forth. You want to see on this side? Okay, so I'm just creating here a flower, nothing fancy. And these are the petals of the lazy daisy. I already showed you, I think, the French knots also. And I think we need few more, and then we are done. So basically now I'm using the felt. If you're not using the felt, if you are using the fabric, you can put the visible behind. If you don't want to go that trouble, you can use your embroidery hoop to it to make it more stable. Or if you don't want to do all of that, just use the simple stitches which don't have which don't need much things, like running stitch or French knot. Whichever you feel easiest way of doing, you should take that. And that's it, it's our last one. So we cover all the stitches, we cover the fabric, we see the different types of things. I hope now you're able to make more changes in your handmade journals, and you can add these small stuff. Now this flower is done. Okay, so now I'll just go back, and that's it. I'll go one more knot, and we can cut it. Okay. Sometimes I didn't find my scissors. Okay, you can use nail cutter also. So now you have a small little flower. You can create as many as small, bigger flowers. Like here I create one smaller ones. And there is one more where I create some kind of stuff. Okay. Here I create these daisies. Like you can see all this stuff, and just create a different. So stitch is same, we are just doing the variation in that, and it will give a really fun effect to your journal. I hope you like this series, and definitely you will make something out of it. And see you in the next project with the next ideas. Until then, have a crafty life. Bye bye and take care.